Hello guys, welcome to this section. So in this section we are going to build a full CRUD application with the help of Redux toolkit and create async thing in our React application. And this time we will be using JSON placeholder fake API to make our API request. So we are going to mimic different API requests like get, put, post and delete. So we are going to use all this API to perform CRUD operation in this application. So let's see what we are going to build in this section. So you can fetch the user post based on the any random user ID. So if you give 5, so it will fetch the user post for the user ID 5. And you can also edit the post. So you can update this post as well. So you can give your like test got updated. And if you click save, this post will get updated. And you can also perform the delete operation. So if you click on delete, this post will get deleted. And you can also create a new post. So if you click on this create user post, you will navigate towards the create post section. Now here you can give a title. So you can give a like test, and body you can give like testing post creation. And if you click on submit, so created post will display below this form component. And whatever the operation we are performing in this application, it's not going to save in database because this JSON placeholder doesn't maintain any kind of database behind the scene. So with the help of this different API requests, we are just mimicking the CRUD operation in this application. So this is the overall application that we are going to build. Guys, in this project section, we are going to use this JSON placeholder fake API to build our CRUD application with the help of Redux toolkit and create async thing. So we are going to use this API like getting the post based on the ID. We are going to use this API in order to post a single blog post, and also we are going to use this fake API to update a single post based on the ID, and at last we are going to use this API to delete a single post based on the ID. So overall we are going to use 4 API with Redux toolkit in this project. So let's set up our project first. So I am in this directory and I'm going to open a command prompt, and I'm going to create a React project. So npx create React app CRUD API toolkit. Okay, you can give any name whatever you like. So let's create this project. So it will take around 2 to 3 minutes to install all the necessary dependency, and I'll be back once the whole process is get completed. So guys, our project setup now completed. So first let's go into this directory, that is CRUD API toolkit. So before we do npm start, I wanted to install some packages for this project. So I'm going to install packages like ant design. So we are going to use ant design to build our component. Then we need to install Redux toolkit. So redux.js / toolkit, and we also need React router DOM. Okay, so only 3 packages is required for this project. So let's install all these packages, and meanwhile I will open this project in the Visual Studio Code. So guys, it's look like our all package now installed, and I have already opened this project in my Visual Studio Code. So let's go into the VS Code. So as you can see that this project is open in my VS Code, and here we have packages like, so here we have a packages like ant design, Redux toolkit and React router DOM. So guys, in order to use ant design component in our React project, first we need to bring the ant design CSS file in order to use the ant design component in this React project. So I'm just going to bring the ant design CSS file. So this is the CSS file we need to bring from our ant design. Then only we will be able to use the ant design to do a structuring our project. So I'm just going to create some folders here. Like we are going to have one folder like user post and one folder with Redux. Okay, and first let's register some route. So I'm going to have index.js file, create post.js file, and we are going to have one more file, that is loading card.js file, in order to show the skeleton loader. So we have created this file. Now let's generate a snippet first. Okay, so we have this like create post. Okay, and in this index.js file we are going to fetch the post, we can update the post, and we can delete the post. So all this thing we are going to do in this index.js file. So let's first generate a snippet, and this, let's give here only post. Okay, and in app.js file let's remove this one logo, we are not going to use, and let's remove this whole part, and we are going to bring from React router DOM switch routes and route. Okay, so from React router DOM we are going to bring routes. So okay, and then we need route and browser router. Okay, so basically we are going to register this two route, that is create post and index.js file. Okay, this will be not index.js file, so let's give like home only. Let's just write here like routes. So here we are using React router DOM version 6. Okay, you can see that. So that's why I am using routes here, not switch. So I hope you are aware of those changes with respect to latest version of React router DOM. And here exact is also not required, so we can just give path, and instead of component we are going to use element. Okay, so first I am going to register the home route our. Okay, and the next route we are going to have like create post. Okay, path create post. Okay, so whatever the post you are going to create is not going to save in JSON server, because JSON is a fake server. So here we are just mimicking the all the requests like get, put, post and delete. So you won't able to save any data in the DB. So we have registered this two route, and let's also do like browser router as well. So let's wrap this entire app with browser router. And let's remove this one, and let's first do npm start. So let's do npm start. Now let's wait for the application load into the browser. So guys, our application is load into the browser, and let's visit this route create post also, whether it's working or not. So this is also register. So we have successfully registered our start with the fetching the post based on the ID. So first I am going to create one input field and the button, two buttons. Okay, so I am going to start working from this file. So what we have to do now, so we need to bring some component from our ant design. So let's bring those component first. So the component we are going to bring like button, card, input and space. Okay, now from React we need to bring use state and use effect. And since we are going to fetch the post based on the ID, so we need to define first state with ID. Okay, so ID, set ID. Okay, and let's give here like use state. In return we have to define one class name with container. Okay, and after that we are going to have one heading. So basically we are performing the fetch post. Let's just give heading. and let's give style, inline style, text align center. Okay, now after this heading we are going to have an input field with placeholder like enter user id. So with JSON server, basically we are going to pass any random id and we will get a post like title and body. So here type will be the number. On change we are going to give, so we can just do like set id and it will having the event e dot target dot value. Okay, now we have to pass the value as well. So value we have id and we can give some inline styling to our this input field. So width 300 pixel. Now we can have couple of breaks here. Okay, so let's give breaks. Now we are going to have a space, one space component we are going to use because we are going to combine two buttons. So let's give size, so it will be small. Let's give inline style, so I'm just going to give overall margin 10. Okay, and inside this we are going to have our button, our and design button. So this button will be primary. Okay, and we can give the button name like fetch user post. So once user give the id in the input field, he will basically able to fetch that post. Now after that what we have to do, so we are going to have one more button. So this button basically responsible for creating a user post. So this button basically navigate you to the create post that we have created here. Okay, so we have two buttons and we are going to have one on click method. So we can give here like fetch user post. Okay, let's define this fetch user post, otherwise we will get error. So we have defined this function and in this function we are going to dispatch, okay, an action. So we have defined this function in which we are going to dispatch an action. So let's first go into the browser. So we have got this input field and we have to also enable the navigation functionality to this button. So what we can do, so from React router DOM we can bring the use navigate. So we need to bring the use navigate. Okay, now we need to store the reference of use navigate into a navigate variable. Use navigate, and what we can do here, so on click we can just simply navigate toward the create post. Okay, so let's see, this is the route we have registered here. Yes, this is the same route that we have mentioned here. So let's go into the browser, refresh this one, let's click on create user post. So now we are able to navigate toward the create post and let's type here something. So it will accept only the number, so we are able to type that one as well. So now the next thing we are going to set up the redux toolkit. In our already created the folder, so here we have to create one more folder like features. Okay, and since we are dealing with the post, now we are going to give here slice like post slice, okay, .js, and in the root of redux folder we are going to have our store.js file. Okay, so make sure it should be in the root of redux. So I think it's created inside the feature. So let's delete this one and make sure the file should be inside this redux folder. Okay, that is store.js file. So store.js file now we have in our redux folder, and first we are going to write a redux action with redux toolkit to fetch the post based on the id using create async thunk. So in post slice basically nothing but is a collection of reducer logic. So in slice basically we update the state of our component with the help of reducer. So we need to bring from redux toolkit create slice and create async thunk. Create slice and create async thunk. Okay, now after that what we have to do, so with create async thunk we are going to make an API request. So as you know already, redux thunk is included by default in redux toolkit, allowing create async thunk to perform a delayed. So with create async thunk we are going to make an API request. So overall create async thunk is used for performing the asynchronous logic before sending the process result to the reducer. So let's create our first action with create async thunk. So export const get post. So after this, so create async thunk, and in the first parameter we are going to pass our action type. So you can pass like this way, post and get post. And the second parameter is callback function, which is responsible for making the API request. And the third is optional, it will contain an option object. So here we are going to write our async logic. Okay, so we are going to receive an id from our component, so we can destructure the id like this way, and after this we can do return, and we are going to use the fetch to make a API request. So we are going to use this API first. So we are going to get the post based on the id. So we can just copy this one and we can paste it here. So we are going to use backtick because we are going to get the post based on the id. So here we have to pass this id, then we are going to give a response and response dot json. Okay, now this create async thunk basically what it does, so whenever we dispatch this action, that is get post from our component, so this create async thunk generate a promise life cycle. So the promise life cycle like pending, fulfilled and rejected, and we will be evaluating this three promise life cycle in extra reducer, where we can make our desired changes to the store. First let's create a slice. So export, so const post slice is equal to create slice. Okay, and first we are going to define the slice name, so let's give here post. Okay, and we are going to have initial state of our application. So first I am going to define the post with empty array, then we are going to have loading false, then error, it will be null. Okay, so for now this much initial state is required for our application. Now we are going to have our extra reducer, in which we are going to handle the three promise life cycle that is generated by our create async thunk. So extra reducer, and inside this we are going to have like get post. Okay, get post dot pending. So first is pending, then fulfilled and rejected, and then we are going to have state action, and here we are going to have like state dot loading will be true. So in case of pending, loading will be true. Now likewise we are going to have fulfilled life cycle. So get post dot fulfilled, okay, and state action, and here we can just do like set state dot loading to false. So now we got the data and we have to make the loading false state, okay. Now state dot post. So now we have to update the initial state of post as well. So we can just write like action dot payload, okay. After this we are going to have rejected, okay. So get post dot rejected and state action, and in this case also loading will be the false, okay. And after this what we have to do, so state dot error, and here we can give like action dot payload, okay, and here we have to use semicolon, okay. So this will be semicolon, don't forget to use semicolon. So let's format this one. Now we have to basically export this one, export default post slice dot reducer, okay. So we have write our first action. Now it's time to write the logic in our store.js file. So with Redux toolkit, configuration of store is very simple. So we need to bring configure store from our Redux toolkit. So from Redux toolkit we need to bring configure store, okay. And now we have to bring our reducer. So post reducer from our feature folder, that is post slice, and export default configure store, and here we are going to have reducer and app. So we are going to provide the key for this post reducer. So with the help of this app key we are going to access the state that we have defined in our post slice. In order to access this state value in our component, that's why I have defined this app key. So we are done with the configuration of store. Now let's go to the index.js file, and first we need to bring one package like React Redux, because we are going to need provided so that I can wrap the store to our React application. So we need to install React Redux, and I forgot to install this package initially. So let's install now. So our package is installed now. Let's close this terminal, and first we need to bring provider from our React Redux so that our component can access the state that we have defined in our store, and we need to bring store from our Redux folder, okay. Now we are going to wrap our app component with provider. Let's cut this one, paste it here, and we can use here store, and we can pass store, okay. And you can also check this one whether you have successfully integrated Redux toolkit with React application or not. So you can go to the browser and you can just open this Redux dev tool. So I'm going to open to my button, and here you can see the state. So that means we have successfully configured our Redux toolkit in we have to basically dispatch this action which we have created in our post slice from our component, okay. So let's go to the index.js file, and from React Redux we need to bring use dispatch and use selector. So use dispatch is used to dispatch an action, okay, and use selector is used to select the state from our store. So first let's store the reference of use dispatch into a dispatch variable, then only we will able to dispatch an action, okay. So here first we are going to check if you don't have any ID. We have to just show a simple error message like window.alert, and we can just give message like please provide an ID. Okay, so in else part we are going to dispatch an action which we have created in our post slice. So get post and VS Code automatically import that action, and we can pass here ID like this way. Okay, because you can see that ID we are receiving here in the form of object, so we can pass the ID like this way. Okay, and after that we can just do one more thing like set ID to empty. So first let's check whether we are getting post or not based on random ID. So let's refresh this one first. Okay, and let's give one ID and let's click on fetch post. Now let's see the dev tool hour. So you can see that our promise got fulfilled here. Okay, and here we have got one post, okay, in a array of object. So now you can see that we have got this post. Okay, so now we have to basically display this post in our UI. So let's do that one. So now we have to basically extract the state from our store using the use selector. So we can use here use selector, and we can have here like a state, and we can spread out state dot app. Okay, because our reducer is stored with the app key, so with the help of app key we can access the state that we have in our store. So we have defined a state like loading, okay, post. Okay, so this states we have defined in our reducer, I mean in slice. So first let's console log the post, okay, whether we are getting the post or not. Console log post. So let's go into the browser and let's give any random user ID. Now let's open the console. So you can see that we have got one array. So it will be always containing a single array of object because we are fetching the post based on the ID. Now we are going to display this post detail in a card component. So first I am going to put some code here in loading card. Okay, so we are basically showing a skeleton loader once loading is true. Okay, and once loading get false, then we are going to show that data in a card component. And I'm going to paste code here for skeleton loader. And don't worry, I will attach this code in this lecture, so you can easily find out that code for this loading card. So now what we have to do, so we have the loading state. Okay, and after this space I'm going to give couple of break. Okay, and then we can have our loading state, and if loading is true, then in that case I am going to show the skeleton loader. So loading card, so VS Code automatically import that component, and here we can provide the count 1, and in the else part we are going to show the post detail in a card component. So here I am going to use fragment, and we are going to use one class name, that is ant design class name. So site hyphen card border hyphen less wrapper. Okay, and after this what we have to do, so I'm going to use card here. Okay, card type inner and title. So we can show the title like this way. So it will be always containing a single array of objects, so we can display like this way, post dot title. Okay, this way we can show, and we can display the user ID as well. So user ID and post dot id. Okay, So let's first check this one whether we are able to see anything or not. So let's go into the browser, and now you can see that we are able to see that ID. Refresh this one and we are getting some error, cannot read property of title. Okay, no problem. So to fix this issue, what we can do, so we can just check here like post.length is greater than 0, then only we are going to display this card component. So let's just cut out this one, let's paste here, and let's go into the browser. Okay, refresh this one. Now let's give random user ID. Now you can see that we have got our post here. So this is the title and this is the ID. Now we have to show the body as well. So you can see that it's have a title which we are already displaying here, and we have to display the body as well in this card component. So what we can do, so we can have one span tag here. Okay, span tag, and here we can show like post 0 dot body. Okay, because we are fetching the single post based on the ID, so it will be always having a single array of object. So I hope you are getting this point. Now let's go into the browser. Now you can see that we are able to display the body as well for this post. So we are able to display this one. So we are able to display the title and body, and let's fetch again based on some any ID. And we have got the skeleton loader to add two buttons, that is edit and delete. So let's add those button as well. So after this card, we are going to show that button. So I'm going to use here a space, and we can provide some props like middle. Okay, and I'm going to have some inline styling. So margin top, I'm going to give here margin top 35, margin left, that is 5, and I'm going to give float right. Okay, now between space we are going to have our button. Okay, so button, so again we are going to use and design component, and we can have here inline styling. So we have to specify cursor, pointer. Okay, we're going to have type. So type I'm going to give here primary. We are going to have danger. Okay, we will have on click method as well. So for now just define the value of button, so it will be delete, and the same thing I'm just going to copy for edit as well. So for edit it will be just edit only, and we can remove this danger part. Okay, and let's see whether we are able to see our buttons or not. So you can see that we got our buttons. So let's fetch again post. So we have got our button. So it is working. We are going to perform the delete operation. So we can delete this post which we have fetched based on the ID. So first we have to write our action in our post/.js file. Okay, so let's do that one first. So in post/.js file, I am going to have one more action, that is delete post. So I'm just going to copy this one, and I'm just going to paste it here, and I'm just going to change this one, so it will be delete post, and this will be action type will be the delete post. Okay, and again we are going to delete the post based on the ID. So here we are going to receive the ID from our component, and the URL will be as it is. And additionally we have to provide method here because we are using fetch here. So we have to provide a method here like delete. So for getting the data from JSON server or any API, you don't have to provide method, But in case of other requests like post, delete or update, you have to provide the method here. So here we are providing the method delete, and this will be as it is. Okay, rest of the thing. Now we are making this API request. So this create async thing generate 3 life cycle which we are going to resolve in our extra reducer. So again what we have to do, so I'm just going to copy this 3 life cycle, that is pending, fulfilled and rejected, and I'm going to paste it over here and make sure to change this one from get post to delete post. Okay, and we can remove this one array. Okay, it will be just action.payload. So let's use this action that we have created here in our component. So let's go to the index.js file, and in on click we can dispatch that action so that it can delete the record. So here I'm going to dispatch that action. So dispatch and delete post. So VS Code automatically import that action for me, and we can dispatch the ID like this way. So we are going to dispatch the same ID that we are using to fetch the ID. Okay, so post, and we can have ID here like in this first index of array dot id. Okay, so let's see whether we are able to delete this post or not. So refresh this one. Let's fetch the post based on the 5 id. We have got this post. Now let's click on delete. So now you can see that we are successfully able to delete the post as well based on the same ID that we have used for fetching the post. So delete operation is also done with our redux toolkit. In this operation we are going to perform the create user post. Once you click on this create user post, you will navigate towards the create post, and whatever the post you are going to create is not going to save in DB because we are using here JSON placeholder fake API, so it doesn't maintain any kind of database behind the scene. So you won't able to save this post in a DB, but we are going to mimic this post request with the help of this API. Okay, so first we are going to create that action in our post slide.js file. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to copy this one and I'm going to paste it here. Okay, create post. Okay, and this will be the create post. Now we have to make some changes here. So since this time we are creating the post, so it won't accept any kind of ID, and we can remove this part. Okay, and after this what we have to do, so method we are going to provide post method here because we are creating a new post, and after that we have to provide the headers as well, otherwise it won't work. So accept. Okay, in headers we have to provide accept, and we can give here like application slash JSON. Then we have to define the content type application slash JSON, and we are going to have body. So JSON dot stringify, and we are going to create the post with title and body. So title we can give here, and we are going to receive a values. Okay, so we are going to receive a values from our component, so we can destructure this value like this way, and we can have like values dot title, and we can have like body, so values dot body. Okay, and the rest of the thing will as it is. So we have created this post, and don't worry, I will explain this part, values part. So here values nothing but it will contain an object with the titles and body information, and that's we are receiving here values from our component, and we are providing title and body. So we are going to have two field in our create post, that is title and body. So first let's resolve this 3 promise life cycle that is generated by our create async thing. So Again, I'm just going to copy paste this 3 life cycle, and we can paste it here. And don't forget to change this one from get post to create post. So let's copy this one, let's paste it here, and the rest of the thing will be as it is. So we are done with let's work on this create post. So from our ant design, we need to bring some component. So the component we are going to need here, input, button, card, space, okay. And we are also going to need use selector and use dispatch from our React Redux. So use selector we need to bring and use dispatch, and from React we need use state as well. So first I am going to define one state with values. So this is the same value that we are going to pass through our action so that it can receive here in our post slice.js file. So let's work on this create post. So use state, and we are going to define our initial state with an object. We are going to have title and body, and after that we are going to have one more state. So show post and set show post. So this state basically we are using to display the created post, okay. So once user creates the post, then on the same page we are going to display that created post. So use state, and initially it will be the false, and after that let's store the reference of use dispatch in a dispatch variable. So use dispatch. So first we are going to work on our form component. So we are going to create a form. So let's remove this one, and we are going to have a form. Let's remove action part, and here we are going to have on submit method, so in which we are going to define handle submit, okay. And inside this form we are going to have adding create post, okay. And after this we are going to define our input field, and let's give here placeholder like enter title. Type will be the text only, okay. And on change we are going to give here, so I can give here like set values, okay. And I can spread out the values, and we have to just only, and we can set the title values to e.target.values, okay. Now we are going to have values, so we can destructure the values. So from values we can destructure like title and body, okay. And in the value we can pass the title, okay. And let's give some inline styling as well to this input field. So width I'm going to give 400 pixel, okay. And after this I am going to have couple of br breakpoint, and then we are going to have text area. So input dot text area, okay. And after this I'm just going to copy this thing, and I'm going to paste it here, and here it will be body, okay. It will be text, and this will become body. So body value will be body, and width will be as it is 400 pixel, and size we have to give because it is a text area, so it will be large. Now I'm going to have couple of break again, and inside this I'm going to have a space. So I'm going to create a one button here. So style, let's give a style like margin 10, and we are going to have button. So I'm going to use anti-design button component, and on click we are going to have on click method. So the value of button will be the go back. So we will define on click method later. So go back, basically you will navigate back to the home page only, and we are going to have one submit button. Okay, so let's give here submit. Type we can give primary. Okay, and HTML type submit. Okay, so let's go into the browser. We have some error, so we need to define this handle submit. So for now let's just create a empty function. Okay, so it will receive an event. So let's go into the browser. So we have got this two input field. One is a normal input field and other is text area. So we have go back and submit button, and if you click on go back you will navigate towards the home page. So from React router DOM we need to bring use navigate. Okay, and we are going to use navigate here, use navigate, and what we have to do, so we are storing the reference of use navigate in a navigate variable, and in on click we can give here like navigate. So we can give here navigate, and we wanted to navigate towards the home page. So let's first try this one. Refresh this one. Let's click on go back. So now we are able to navigate. We have to basically work on the create post. So we are going to dispatch an action that we have created in our post/.js file. So in handle submit we are going to dispatch that action. So now what we have to do, so this handle submit is receiving an event. So first we have to do a e.prevent default to prevent the default behavior of browser, and after that we can dispatch that action. So the action we have like create post, so VS Code automatically import that action for me, and we can just pass entire values. Okay, so this value basically we are destructuring here. You can see that in our create post action. So in create post action we are destructuring the values which we are sending through our action. So after this I wanted to empty the each input field. So what we can do here, so title will be empty and body will be the empty, and we have to also do set show post true. The moment you submit this form, I wanted to show the post on the same page. So below this form component I wanted to show the created post. Okay, so that's why I have a separate state like set show post, and it will become true. Okay, and first we can check this one whether this create post is working or not. So we can verify with the help of redux dev tool. So first let's go into the browser and let's give here like test, and I'm going to paste some text here inside this text area. So I have pasted my text here, so you can see that, and let's click on submit, and let's open the redux dev tool. So you can see that our promise got fulfilled here, and we can see the state. So in app we have one post, and you can see that we have got our title, body. Okay, and you will also see a user ID. So it basically generate a random user ID. You can see that we have got one ID, one not one. So it's a random ID which is created by our JSON fake server. So now what we have to do, so we are going to display the created post below this form component once the user submitted the form. So let's go to the VS Code. I'm going to use a use selector here. So use selector I'm going to use to basically extract the state value from our store. So state dot app, okay, and we can have a value like post and loading, okay. And after this what we have to do, and after this we are going to have one function which is responsible for showing the created blog. So post blog, okay. So inside this we are going to have return, okay. We are going to use fragment, and here also I'm going to use loading. So if loading is true, then I'm going to display a loading card component that is responsible for showing the skeleton loader, and I'm going to provide a count here 1, and else I'm going to show the created blog post, okay. So again what I'm going to do, so I'm going in index.js file, and I'm just going to copy this thing, okay, and let's come here and let's paste it here. Few things we might have to change, so let's give here closing div first, and this will be as it is, this will be as it is, and this will be as it is. So everything will be as it is, okay, because once you create this post, so the post state will contain a single array of object. So we can show this created post below this form component. So I'm going to have couple of break again, and we can have like show post. So if it's true, then I'm going to show that post, okay. So let's show post blog, okay. Let's save this one, and let's go into the browser, okay, refresh this one, and let's give here like test blog, and I'm going to paste the content here. So I have pasted the content of body here, and let's click on submit. So you can see that we are successfully able to create a post, and we are displaying below our form component. So we have performed this create operation with the help of Redux toolkit in our React application. So the next operation we are going to perform the update operation is done with Redux toolkit. Now it's time to perform the update operation with the help of Redux toolkit. So first we are going to create an action which will be the responsible of updating the post based on the ID. So in the post/.js file we are going to create an action. So what I'm going to do, so I'm just going to copy this entire action, and I'm just going to paste it over here, and this will become update post, and this action type will become update post. Now we are going to update the post based on the ID. So from our component we are going to receive couple of things like ID, and we are going to update the body, okay, and we are also going to pass title, okay, but we will update only the body part of the single blog post. So here we have to specify the ID because we are going to update the post based on the ID, and the method will become put, and the headers will be stay as it is, and in the body we have to just remove this one, so we can just pass as it is like title and body, and the rest of the thing will be as it is. Now this create async thing will generate a 3 promise life cycle. So let's handle this 3 promise life cycle again in our extra reducer. So I'm just going to copy this 3 life cycle over here, and I'm just going to paste it, and make sure to update from create post to update post. Okay, so it will be update post, and this will be also update post, and no need to change this whole thing. Okay, and here we have to define some state, some additional initial state we have to define. So we are going to update only the body part. Okay, so body will be initially empty, and there will be a edit mode, so initially it will be the false, and we are also going to have one extra action, so I'm going to define that action in reducer. So this action basically responsible for enabling the edit mode. So we are going to have like set edit. Okay, and this will having like state and action, and here we are going to have like state dot edit is equal to action dot payload dot edit. So we are going to receive this thing from our component, so we have to do one more update like state dot body action dot payload and body. So we are going to receive two things like edit mode and body part, okay, of the single blog post. Let's export this action as well. So what we can do here, so we can have like export const post slice dot action, and we can give here like set edit. Okay, now let's go back to the UI part, and let's go back here. Let's fetch one post here. So now we have a edit button over here, and once user click on this edit, so this body part basically converted into the text area, and the button value will also get changed. Okay, so button value get changed from edit to index.js file. What we have to do first, so we are going to receive edit, so this new state which we have just defined in our post slice.js file. So I'm just extracting those state with the help of use selector, and here what we have to do, so now we are going to have our edit mode. So if we are in edit mode, then what we have to do, so we are going to have fragment here, and in else part we are just showing this body part. Okay, that means user is not editing the post. So now all the logic we have to define inside this fragment for editing the post. So first what I'm going to do, so from this edit we are going to have on click, and we are going to dispatch one action. So dispatch, and we are going to dispatch set edit. Okay, so once the user click on this edit button, so edit mode will become true, so edit true, and we have to pass the body as well, value of body. So we can get the body like post 0 dot body. Let's format this one, let's save the file. Now here what we have to do, so it will be in bracket, so let's give here bracket, and here we are going to have text area. Okay, text area rows 4, and we are going to have values. Okay, so we need to define the initial state. So first we have to define a state for this body value. So here what we can do, so we can have one more state like body text. Okay, because we are just updating the body of the single blog post, we are not updating the title. So set body text, and it will be empty, and here I'm going to run one use effect So use effect, and this use effect run once we have the value in our body. So I'm talking about this body which we have defined in our post slide.js file. So if we have the body, then set body text. So with this way we will able to populate the value of body in a text area. Here what will have body, okay, we are going to have on change, okay, it will having a event. So set body text e dot target dot value, okay, and then we are going to have two buttons, okay. So that button name will be like save and cancel. So user have option to save the post, and he can also cancel the update process. So we are going to have two button with save and cancel. So I'm going to use here space, okay, and inside that we are going to have size middle, okay, and I'm going to have some inline styling. So margin top will be 5, and margin left I'm going to give margin left, okay, will be 5, okay. Now between this space we are going to have our two buttons. So button, it will be type primary, and we are going to have a save, okay, and we are going to have another button that will be the cancel. So if you click on the cancel, you will basically come out from the edit mode if you click the cancel button. So it will be just normal button, okay. So first we can check this one whether we are able to populate the body value of blog in a text area or not on clicking the edit button. So let's refresh this one. Let's fetch the post with id 3. Let's click on edit. So we are able to populate the body value of blog in a text area. So this thing we don't want it, okay. So let's go to the VS Code. So what we can do over here, so we can check here like this entire space. We can check here like if you are not in edit mode, so in that case only we wanted to show this edit and delete button. So let's cut this one, and let's go into the browser, refresh it, let's fetch the post. Now we have got this two button, and once you click on the edit button, that means now you are in edit mode. So in that case I don't want it to display those two buttons. So once user either click on save or cancel, then this two button will get displayed over here. We are going to have on click method, and here we are going to dispatch a two action, okay. So one action basically is used for updating the single blog post with body value, okay. So here we are going to dispatch an action that we have created in our post slash.js file. So we have to pass like id, so post 0.id, and we are also going to send the title. The same title we are going to send because we are not updating the title, we are updating only the body value of blog, and body we are going to send like body text, okay. So this value we are only changing. So if user click on the cancel, so we have to basically stop the update process. So overall he will come out from the edit mode. So in that case also we have to dispatch an action. So we are going to have on click method here again. We are going to dispatch an action like dispatch set edit, okay, and in that case edit will be the false. Okay, and here also we have to dispatch one more action. So dispatch set edit. So once user click on the set edit, we wanted to basically come out from the edit mode, so we have to also dispatch the set edit in case of updating the body value of single blog post. So here we are going to again pass the edit to false. Okay, and after this we have to basically make this body to empty. Okay, and here also we can pass the body to empty, and here we are getting some error, so it will be comma. Okay, so let's save this file and let's go into the browser, refresh this one. So we are going to start from scratch. So let's fetch the blog based on the id 5. Now let's click on edit. So now we are in edit mode, and if you give like test, so we are not able to update the value. So typing is not working here. So let me see what is happening. So in on change, what we have to do, so something is going wrong here, I guess. So here we have to basically show the body text. Okay, not body. So let's go into the browser and fetch the post based on the user id 5. Let's click on edit. So now we are in edit mode. Now let's update this body value of blog post. So let's give here like blog updated, and if you click on save, so we have got the updated body value of blog here. You can see that we got the body like blog updated. So we have successfully performed the update operation as well with redux toolkit, and whatever the update you are doing here, it won't save in db because json placeholder doesn't maintain any kind of database behind the scene. So if you refresh and fetch the post again with the same id like 4, so you will get the old body value. In this section we have learned how to perform all CRUD operation with the help of redux toolkit and create async thunk in our react application, and I hope now you have got full understanding of this redux toolkit concept. So overall we have built two applications with the help of redux toolkit and create async thunk, and now you can also integrate redux toolkit in your any existing react project. So now I will see you in the next section where we will learn RTK query concept and we will build some application. So I will see you in the next section.